taxis in New York are dominated, as we all know, by Uber and Lyft. And they actually are looking forward to having clearer
But I'm going to interrupt here. You're
Yeah.
telling the poor people of New York City to take an Uber?
Yeah, you know what? Right now, the cost difference between Uber and taxis is not all that great. I'm not in the taxi business, so I'm trying to answer your question. But the point is, with less congestion on the roads, you're going to have the taxi industry, I think, is going to do better. It means people will be able to move more quickly, pick up more rides, and for what is actually 75 cents per ride, when the average ride of a taxi ride now in New York is like $25. So 75 cents a ride, and they're going to be able to move much more quickly, take more rides. I think it's going to be good for the industry.
Part of the outcome that you guys are hoping for, that we're all hoping for as a city, is reduce traffic, reduce congestion within the city. When will we know if that's actually happening?
It's a good question. It's going to take a while to take effect. New Yorkers adjust, and they are resilient, but it's going to take a little while. So we're going to be watching it very closely, day by day, week by week. I don't expect to see some dramatic change on the first or the second day. Over time, we're expecting a 10 to 20% reduction in traffic. That's what we're shooting for. But Paul, the big issue here is New York is leading. New York is, and I'm thinking, I know you're an international outfit. New York is becoming a 21st century city. We just did, 2 train terminals in the last couple of years. LaGuardia Airport, a total rebuild. It's #1 in the country. JFK is getting rebuilt. I know your Newark Airport is getting investment. This is about being a 21st century city where we don't spend all our time stuck in traffic. The business community has always supported congestion pricing under Mike Bloomberg's lead, in part because congestion and time spent in traffic is a tax on our economy.
A lot of folks view this congestion pricing as simply a tax on consumers. Your budget is $19 billion, I believe, at the MTA for 2024. You need more money? That's what a lot of folks are saying.
Listen, this is, as you said, this is 90% of the people who come to the central business district take transit. We're carrying 6 to 7 million people a day on mass transit. So, we have to pay a lot of people, and 80% of our costs is wages and pensions and benefits. No question, we have to pay a lot of people to deliver that service. But the bottom line is congestion pricing is about the benefits. It's about not just money for the MTA, but about lower traffic, cleaner air, safer streets, and a more functioning economy. That's the goal. That's why London did it, and that's why we're following.
I was in Paris last week, and all I can say is what a difference in congestion. It was just beyond pleasant. When are we going to see results? Are we talking Tuesday? Or are we talking 2027?
Listen, I don't want to sit here and tell you I have a crystal ball. The bottom line is adjustments are going to be made. It's going to definitely take place over time.
Right.
Let's watch it together. There's going to be total transparency on the MTA side. We're going to have a dashboard out for everybody to look at how many cars came in as compared to before the system went in, and how many of them are chargeable, and we're going to be monitoring it closely.
Number one question I get is what happens, folks, for those of you across the nation and worldwide, the outer edge of Manhattan, north-south, is the FDR and the West Side Highway. What happens to those two important thoroughfares where I believe there's no congestion tax?
Yeah, well, the idea is that these so-called excluded roadways that are on the edge of Manhattan, that people should be able to use them to get around the congestion zone. Listen, we always talk about drivers like they're the dominant reality. I know you guys take transit. 90% of people who come to the central business district take transit. There are only 130,000 people coming to the CBD who drive their personal cars as opposed to 1.5 million jobs. So I don't think that we're going to have some catastrophic traffic impact because a portion of those people do elect to take transit, or that people are avoiding the charge. I think we're going to see it all get baked in over time, but we're going to watch it closely, and we're going to talk to you about it.
We have a new president coming in a couple weeks.
Here you go.
Really
You're going tunnel, right?
Exactly. No, just what do you think President-elect Trump will do, if anything, about this plan?
I don't know. We got sued in every court from east of the Mississippi.
I was going to say, is there anyone who hasn't sued you?
Yeah, but
Lisa Mateo, are you filing this morning?
Yeah, but you know what? We won every lawsuit because we did a 4,000-page study. The feds approved it. You know, it took 5 years to do the study. It takes about 5 minutes to figure out New York has a congestion problem if you stand in Midtown.
Right.
But what President Trump is going to do is, I'm not certain. There's a lot of Republican politicians who are against mass transit and who rail about this. President Trump is also a New Yorker who owns office buildings, and 90% of the people who work in his office buildings come on mass transit. So I'm optimistic that he will get it.